If your definition of closing a seller is talking to them, asking what they want, and then just writing up a contract for whatever price they want, you suck at talking to motivated sellers. And honestly, the way that you close wholesaling deals is not just doing whatever they want. Oh, I would have sold my house and you just write a contract, right? The real way to make a ton of money in this business is I flexed a little bit on TikTok today. I posted a little TikTok, a little quick 70K, a little quick 40K last Friday, a little $120,000 weekend. Just regular walk in the park for me. But there's no secret out there. I make big boy checks, okay? Big baller checks over here. You know why? I'm really, really good at closing sellers. I'm really good at teaching people how to close sellers, right? Because I don't really do much of the closing myself. If I record myself, talk to a seller and get a deal, that's all great and dandy. But mostly it's my team closing these sellers and them doing the deals. And, I'm kind of the big boss in town here, but I'm really good at getting big checks, right? That's one thing I'm very known for. Okay. I don't go on purpose and make $5-6 grand. Okay. It's just crazy. I don't make I'm not here to make $5,000, $6,000, $7,000. Okay. It's crazy to me. 5, 6, 7 grand. Hey, you're here to make 70 grand. That's the whole point. That's why you're doing what you're looking to be doing, right? And so what I want to explain today is the brand new motivated seller script to you that feels exactly like cheating. Okay. Feels exactly like cheating. And so if you want to go from level 10 to level 100, talking to motivated sellers, closing them, and actually going from making $30,000 on a deal to making 50 or 60, this is exactly what I'm going to be sharing today. Because a lot of people, they like to brag about how they're good at talking to sellers, but we're going to make you absolutely elite today. And if you're somebody who, when it comes to talking to a motivated seller, you get super nervous, this is exactly how I'm going to break you out of that shell and make you amazing. It's like cheating. It's like you don't know how to talk to a seller, and now you're automatically the man when it comes to talking to motivated sellers and getting them done right there. You're going to not be nervous. You're going to sound like an absolute G talking to your sellers and going out here and having the success you deserve. And so let's break it down. Let's get into it. And do me a favor before we get into it, okay? Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, because when you talk to a motivated seller, it might not seem like you don't know what you're doing, but how you subconsciously talk, right? I think they said like 60 or 70% of all communication is subconscious, right? The way you look, the way you sound, and your kind of the way you speak, your inflections are going to be massively important when you talk to a seller. That's why when I talk to sellers, it sounds like I'm not doing anything. It just sounds like I'm having a regular conversation, but these are thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of hours talking to sellers that actually give me the results. So let's break this down and let's share it. Again, the main issue is, why do most wholesalers talk to motivated sellers the wrong way? Okay. Well, I'll be completely 100% with everyone watching this. Okay. I'll be real with everyone. Most of you wholesalers, y'all sound like used car salesmen. I'm just being straight. Like, you are acting like, please sign the contract. Please, just sign with me. I need you to sign with me. You have to. You sound super needy. I'm just being honest. Nobody wants to really talk to someone. No one can relate to someone who's super needy and whiny all the time. And that's the thing. The big secret when it comes to building rapport or a connection with the seller and actually sounding like you and the seller have a connection, you can get, hey, I should go with you. I should go with the Zach guy over this other dude because I don't really trust the guy. I trust the Zach guy pretty well. That's the whole point here, right? If you're sounding super desperate and needy, which most of you guys are talking to sellers, oh, no, you get to, please sign the contract. Or maybe you're not like that. Oh, I can buy your house. Like, you just sound so nervous and needy. Like, this is like the biggest thing in the world for me. So that's not the point. That is not why we're doing what we're doing here. Okay. What we are looking to do is to sound like an absolute calm expert. This is why when you're talking to motivated sellers and there's 3, 4, 5 other wholesalers, why you get the deal and nobody else does. Now, I'll be real with everyone. And again, I always keep it real. I never do that. I show my interest in wanting to buy the person's property, but I need to talk to you. I need to see if this works for me. I need to see if this is like the right type of property for me. But I'm always leaving. For a lead, it's like, it was it ABL, always be leaving. Like, I'm not trying to be so desperate with a seller. Like, I mean, I got plenty of options, man. I got plenty of options. You know, it's very similar. And again, maybe I get canceled for this, but I don't really care. It's kind of like dating or rizzing. Again, Zach's rizzing course will be in freeholston.com soon for $67. Where we have my Zach's rizzing course. Get your dream lady in under 10 days. You find a wholesale. I think finding a wholesaling deal is way harder than finding a girlfriend, but I don't want to get into that. You know, it's like, I don't know. That's for a different day. But basically, it's like you go on a date and you're like, do you think I'm cool? Can we go on another date? No, you got to be chill. Like, yeah, you know, I got all these other ladies in my DMs, but tell me, why should I be with you? Now, you're kind of having them sell you. And so, you know, that's my dating life. You know, I just go in the DMs and see what I want, but just kidding. But basically, that's the whole point. You're not supposed to sound super needy. And the same thing with a seller, same thing with, you know, these used car salesman type vibes. I don't know what's going on in the wholesaling space, but like, I don't understand it, right? And what I mean, like, I'm always leaving, like I mean it. Like, I'll just go to another lead. I got plenty of leads to talk to. There are more people on code violations and pre-foreclosures than I know what to deal with. I got plenty of leads to talk to if you don't want to sell to me, right? Simple as that. And again, I am never the guy who is going to be the highest bidder. And I tell people up front, it's simple. So the secret to being good at talking to sellers and closing has always been just being yourself. This is my massive secret today. And I'll do a whole breakdown, and I'm really going to make it good today. But like, what I'm trying to explain is, if you can just be yourself, you are going to be an absolute monster when it comes to closing people on the phone. Just be yourself. Most people can't be themselves. And I probably shouldn't say this on my own YouTube channel, but I'll probably just say it. Most wholesalers on this channel, when they try to close a sale, they're trying to close like Zach Ginn. They're trying to close like Rick Ginn. You need to be you. Okay. This is very important. You got to be yourself. Do not pretend to be like somebody else, because when you're trying to pretend to be somebody else, it's really hard to remember what they would want. And then you don't really know how to respond. Like, then you're nervous and you're just not being you. So stop pretending to try to be someone else and trying to be like this perfect script type guy. And honestly, you might be like, well, then how do I act like a closer? As I do, be yourself. Be you. Again, it's like being an athlete, right? If you're like a star basketball player and you're like 5'10", you shouldn't try to be like LeBron James, who's 6'8". Or he's probably taller than that. I have no idea. Right? If you're LaMelo, if you're LaMelo or LaMelo, one of them. If you're LaMelo, right, you're not trying to play basketball like you're Shaq. And if you're Shaq, you don't try to play basketball like you're Kobe. And if you're Kobe, you don't try to be like somebody else. You just be yourself. Larry Bird played like Larry Bird. Kobe played like Kobe. Anthony Edwards plays like Anthony Edwards, right? If you play basketball like you're pretending to be another person, that just doesn't work. Okay, you just got to be yourself. All right? And my best piece of advice of acting like yourself is stop trying to memorize these crazy scripts. I know we put script in the title today, but you're not trying to be like somebody with a crazy script. Act like you're buying a car. What are you talking about, Zach? Pretend like you were going out here and actually buying a car. What I mean by act like you're buying a car, I know this sounds crazy, but if you go out here and just have a conversation like general knowledge, you're going to sound way better. So for example, when it comes to, quote, buying a car, right? If I was going to go out here and buy a car, am I going to pretend like I'm the absolute foremost expert on mechanics and cars and the difference between a aspirated car versus a naturally aspirated versus a flat V6 versus a V8? Yeah, I know the difference between all of them because I am obviously a genius. But most people, they're not going to know the difference. They're not going to know about the understeering on a V8 sometimes on the front. And they're not going to know all these different things because it's stupid. Hey, I'm looking to buy this Honda Accord. How, like most people generally know on a car, it's like how many miles is on it? What does it look like? How's the inside? It's pretty like when's the last oil change? Like, I mean, just general knowledge, right? Don't be pretending like how many cylinders are in this car? Oh, let me check the engine here. Oh, yeah. Let me inspect the catalytic converter on the back. You don't do like you just what's the engine? Okay, how many miles does the thing have? Does it drive nice? I mean, okay, cool. Like, what's the year on it? Let me see what other ones generally sell for. Like, you just it's more about just general the car than anything else. You don't really need to be a crazy nerd about things. But the issue I've seen with most wholesalers is like they try to pretend like they're the expert. I'm a real estate investing in a finance company, and we're looking to buy properties. And tell me more about the carpeting of the property. Tell me more about the shingles on the roof. How many shingles are on the roof? Are there 316? Because I counted as 320. We're gonna need a discount on the 4 shingles, and you go ridiculous, right? One time I had this jerk seller decide to bring me and the We Buy Ugly Houses guy out. And we both went out to the house. And it was like a bidding war between me and the other guy. It was hilarious. And what was really funny was I went out to the house. He was at that We Buy Ugly Houses guy was out to the house. And we had 2 different approaches on the property. One guy was like the We Buy Ugly Houses guy was like a legit house flipper. And I was a 20-year-old kid. Okay. Well, the guy was like 48. He probably buys, 40 houses a year, like legit as they come. And I'm just out here as like a 20-year-old kid. And what I did the entire time, I had the guy show me the house for like 5 minutes. And then I spent the next 30 minutes just talking to the guy about golf, fishing, and I think the Dallas Cowboys and his family. And the other guy was there, talked about for like 5 minutes about the property. And he spent the next 30 minutes with a measuring tape and levelers and research and 16 notepads. And he was just like that stuff. And at the end of the day, he was like, want me to bid the property out. And the guy was like, I need to do some calculations and I need to figure it out. And I said, hey, like, I know and the guy didn't realize, and he didn't build any rapport. And I'm like, so you need to go back to Anaheim in the next couple weeks, right? Well, that's about 3 weeks from now. I'm like, what if I just close it right now in the next 3 weeks? You're in Anaheim with all the cash. You sign the closing in about 20 days and you're out the next day. Deal? I was like, yeah, that'd be great. I mean, what price can you do? I'm like, well, give me a price. Oh, all right, let's do it. Done. And the other guy like called, and the guy's like, well, I don't know about the other guy. I'm like, well, do you want to go to Anaheim in 3 weeks or not? Because this guy, I mean, he took 14 hours to go figure this out. I mean, it's up to you. I mean, he's not a bad guy. No, I get it. It's just so funny. And then I beat the guy because he was just all analysis, no rapport. And I was all rapport, a little bit of analysis. Now, the reason why I won, obviously, was I'm good at building rapport. And generally, I knew what my numbers were. I didn't have to be an expert on it because I'm probably going to sell it to a guy like that. That's how I won. Okay. And it's always funny that I've dealt with this guy a couple of times that We Buy Ugly Houses. And he's a little different now, obviously. But it's just all about talking to the seller and their issue, because real estate wholesaling is 95% the seller, 5% the property. You got to remember, everyone in wholesaling loves to focus on the property. It's all about the property. It's real estate investing. It's house flipping. It's analytics of the house. Bro, wholesaling is not any of that. That's why I'm good at wholesaling. I want you to understand, if wholesaling real estate was about pure mechanics of buying the property, renovating, and putting it back on the market, okay? Holy moly. Okay? Holy moly. It's just hilarious to me. I get that all the time. It's like, oh, what's the analytics? And I'm like, dude, wholesaling real estate is just about finding people who want to sell their property for cash. That is it. And then dealing with their issues. The property is being sold for a discount because of the person, not the property. The person can't afford to renovate, and you got to understand their issues, right? People need to feel heard and understood and make them feel good, right? It's never about the actual thing. And if you can get really good at identifying these people and those properties, having them understand you, and you understanding them and having a solution to their issue, not the property's issue, but their issue, which is the property. Simple as that. It's all you need. Okay. So many wholesalers, all right, don't ever, ever, ever understand that. Okay. It's just hilarious to me. So if you want to go out here and start making a ton of money in wholesaling real estate, the absolute number one thing that I can tell anybody watching this is to start focusing on the seller hard. You see, most of wholesaling is locating the deal, then focusing on the person's problem, which is the property, but understanding their issue with it. That is it. Again, if you ever want to understand how people are really good at closing like high cars, like if you sell Porsches or Lamborghinis or Ferraris, right? It's never, when you try to sell a car at that high of a caliber car, you never, ever get into technical details unless they're like a car nerd. Okay. So for example, if you put somebody in a Lamborghini Murcielago, okay, it's never about, it's a V10. It's a beautiful car. It can rip hard. It's loud. Nothing's about the car. It's about how you feel while in the car, your dreams of always owning this car, the emotions of it, and how you feel. It's about how the person feels with the car. It's not even about the car, but your feeling when you have the car. And now you want that exciting feeling all the time. That is it. Once you understand that real estate is a people business, it's always about behaviors. It's all about emotions. That's really when the quote closing starts coming in. Human psychology is really big on this. So again, human psychology and closing is all about being yourself and connecting with sellers. So I just let everybody know, stop trying to be like Zach Ginn. Even though I know you want to be jacked, tall, rich, and handsome like me, you can get there, right? But you cannot pretend to be me. Okay. There's only one Zach Ginn and it's pretty filled out. Okay. I already took that spot. Not a lot of people wanted to be in the spot when I was getting started. Trust me, nobody ever wanted to say 10 years ago, I want to be just like Zach. No one wanted to say that. Now everyone wants to say that, right? You know, you stop trying to be like Rick Ginn too. You're not going to be like Rick. You're going to be yourself. And so if anyone's ever noticed, and I'm curious because we're live, has anybody ever watched? We're doing a lot more live streams of like, especially in wholesaling right now, we're doing a lot more like live seller stuff, right? Like me and Rick are going live a lot more. We're talking to sellers live in front of you guys on streams more because I feel like you watching us do the business is a better way of teaching than saying, just say this, like, hey, just watch me do it, right? You get a lot of tiny little things. Has anybody in here live ever noticed, and a lot of people watch our stuff, have you noticed the difference between me closing a seller versus Rick? Does anybody know? There's a lot more videos of me closing sellers on the internet than Rick just because I do it more. But Rick's one of the absolute best I've ever seen talk to a seller and close them. But has anybody ever noticed the difference between me and Rick when it comes to closing a seller? There's two main differences and one similarity. I'm just kind of curious what you guys think. I'll tell everyone the similarities. Okay, there's one massive similarity and there's one massive difference. Okay. What's the difference? Okay. What is it? All right. So one of the biggest similarities between me and Rick is we both get the property locked up for usually the same price. Me and Rick always gets the property locked up for the same price. That is what it always is. Now, how in the world is the difference between me and Rick closing? Number one, these are funny. But Dre's right. Rick speaks better and talks longer and gets the price lower. So what I found is me and Rick usually get the same price usually. He could probably get a deeper discount with someone that requires more rapport, I would say. But Rick probably takes about 2 to 3 times longer of phone conversations than me. Is that bad? No, he's a slower closer. He can usually get him down a lot deeper to a point, right? I mean, some people he can't, right? But the one thing I'll tell you is he can build a connection with somebody better than I've ever seen in my entire life, especially with a seller. And he's great at talking, right? I'm good at talking, but I'm good at making my point, building that rapport, and then going back to the point and getting the deal. I can get in front of 2 or 3 sellers and close them all in the time it takes Rick to do one. No knock on him, but he can definitely get better discounts. And the thing is, my way of closing, I think scales a lot better, right? So if I have to close 6 or 7 people in a week, I can probably do it way better than him. But if I have like 2 or 3 deals, that's all I get in a month. His is way better. And so I would say his method's way better for most people watching this, right? The thing is, Rick is an empath. He will talk forever. He will give connections way better. And it's just insane. It's just absolutely insane. Now, Rick gets a little crazy when seller talks too much, then he gets bored. And I can deal with someone just talking all day is usually what I do. But I'll be real. I'm way more straight to the point type guy. Rick's way smoother on it, but I am absolutely always to the point. And that's just how I am. That's just me. Okay. I'm doing business. I get to the point. Okay. I'm not the craziest emotional guy in the world, except when the Dolphins suck. But he is really good at that, right? And so we both are really good at what we do. But the thing is, I close away and he closes away. We both make the same amount of money what we do. It's just completely different ways we do it. Is there a problem in that? There's no issue with it, right? I'm just saying, you can go his way, whatever way you do it, that's how you do it, right? And the one secret is I close more like an introvert and Rick closes more as an extrovert. I spend a lot of time analyzing, reading in, and looking into everything. And I'm way more analytical. Rick is way more of basically the empath role and that role. And that's why we work so good as partners, right? Because I can go get a lot of the ops, a lot of the marketing side. Very good on the visionary side for him too. Is we connect really good on that end, right? But all I can tell you is it doesn't matter what type of closer you are. Just be yourself, right? So for example, right, if you're more of an introverted type guy, which I would probably say I am more of an introvert than extrovert type person, I could talk to anybody about wholesaling real estate, like I'm passionate about it. So I can, I'm super extroverted talking about real estate, wholesaling, stuff like that. But in general, I just want to sit back, analyze and do my thing. I'm more of an analyzing type person, right? I'm more 80-20, where if I have a conversation, I'd rather be asking the questions than talking about myself and just learning knowledge, stuff like that. And Rick's more like talking most of the time. There's no problem. But I get to the point and I analyze and I still build my rapport, right? See, a lot of people think, oh my gosh, Rick's better at talking to sellers. He's way better at closing than Zach, which, not to defend myself, but I'll tell you this. For half the sellers, I'm better at building rapport than Rick. You might think, why is that? Because as a introvert type guy, right, I will just ask questions and just hear them talk. And I'm okay with them talking and me not talking. I do not care. It's more of me. I'd rather them talk than me. So if I have a conversation, 80% of the time they're talking, 20% I'm talking. Rick's like 50-50. The reason is because I ask more questions than Rick, but I'm more to the point. Rick kind of does more speaking and stories and stuff like that. There's not a problem with it, but I just ask way more questions. So I'm more analytical. So I analyze their situation and then I ask the right question. So if you're introverted like me, you got to be really good at asking the right questions and setting things up. Rick's very smooth with it, but he's not the type of guy in a conversation to try to set somebody up. I love setting people up. Not in a mean way, but it's like, well, I ask them question 1, question 2, question 3, question 4. And I'm the type of guy that makes them come up. Maybe I am listing the property for way too high. Rick will just say it, but I'll be like, well, how long have you had listed for? I mean, why don't you think it's sold yet? I mean, I'm just trying to think here. It's been on the market for 190 days and not one offer. Why do you think that is? See, I'm doing that on purpose. I'm not saying, hey, loser, hey, idiot, you listed it for way too high, bro. Get that price down. No, I'm like, why do you think it hasn't sold yet? It's just a difference how we do it, right? There's nothing wrong with it, right? And so my real quote script for talking to a motivated seller, it's really simple. Like my real script, it's really, really simple. My script, my secret, if anybody in here wants to learn how to close a seller, is confidence plus confidence plus qualifying equals closing. That is it. Simple as that. You want to be good at closing a seller. Confidence plus qualifying equals closing. Simple. So let me scream it from the rooftops. Confidence plus qualifying equals closing. So let's break this down. So if you can get really good at confidence, have all the confidence in the world, and then you can go out here and just learn how to qualify, all the sellers are closed out of it. See, everything's closing is asking the right questions and doing this all perfectly. What I'm just sharing right there, none of that is quote closing. You're qualifying and you have confidence. You see, everyone's just going straight to the closing, but none of y'all go straight to how do I close? What do I personally have to say to go out here and get the closing done? That's what we're talking about today. So again, question number 1. Let's learn the equation. Confidence plus qualifying equals closing. So again, number 1, what is confidence? So let me ask everyone live, because we are live. What is confidence? You see, everybody wants it. Everyone talks about it. But what is confidence? Do I have confidence talking to you right now, or do I not? And if I do have confidence, which I think people think I probably do talking about this, why do I have so much confidence right now? And what is it? Why can I talk about wholesaling way better than you right now? Now, everybody automatically goes to the keyboard and says, it's experience. Not at all. It's never experience, right? Never. See, the real secret here is confidence. And I've always said this definition is important. The definition of confidence that I've found is a belief in the words you say and the actions you do. Let me say that one more time. Confidence is a belief in the words you say and the actions you do. Super important. And so if you can believe in the words you say and the things you do it so much better. So again, why am I good at talking to you about wholesaling? Because these words I'm telling you about how to close, I've closed thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of wholesaling deals. I've done so many of these deals that I believe in what I say because that's what I've done. Now, is that experience? Yeah, to a point, but I believe it because I've done it so much. So experience and belief, I mean, they're hand in hand right now, but you do not, to talk to a seller, you do not need really any experience to have a belief, right? You know, there's a lot of religious people that, you know, they believe in, I'm just using an example, right? They have complete confidence and faith in Jesus, right? Even though, whoa, why is that right there? Whoa. I don't know, I have a screen share playing right now on the computer. Whoa. Okay. Sorry, I don't want to. Oh, geez. Okay, cool. But I did that. What I'm saying is a lot of people have never met or physically seen, you know, Jesus, but they have complete confidence that, you know, he's there and he's going to protect them, right? Even though the person's never seen them, right? Why? Because they believe. They don't have experience physically seeing the guy, but they completely in their soul believe in him and what he can do. Again, I'm not talking politics, religion, or anything on here, but a lot of people, right, completely have all the confidence in the world about when they talk about Jesus, right, and how real and everything he is, right, because they believe. It's a belief. Belief. Okay? And again, I'm not trying to use religious examples, okay? But I am saying that I think it's a great analogy because You don't need to have experience, right, to believe. And belief is confidence. Okay, that's kind of funny. I said Jesus and the thing popped up, though. That's crazy. But yeah, that is true. And this thing doesn't ever do that. It's kind of random. But hey, maybe that's a sign. Why not? Or I summon the demons. Oh boy. I hopefully no. But yeah, that was kind of funny. But yeah, it's a belief in the words you say and the things you do and the actions you do. So belief is super important. Now, I'll tell you the truth here. Once you have a belief in the words you say and the things you do, you become absolutely unstoppable. This is why, and I know it's not sexy to go out here in a live stream and talk about how important it is, okay, to have confidence, because it's such a buzzword. Have confidence, guys. But no one talks about what confidence is. Just get the reps, bro. That's not what I'm talking about. So when you have confidence, when you talk, usually you don't have many ums or buts. Now, I say ums or buts sometimes, but it's never every 5 seconds. See, if I have to go on stage and do a presentation on quantum mechanics, I'm going to say a lot more ums and buts than a presentation about why the 1972 Miami Dolphins are the greatest football team that's ever been assembled of all time. Okay, Drake May couldn't even touch Jake Long in the 1972 Dolphins if they're generations, okay? Larry Zonka would go absolutely ham, okay, on any guy in the NFL right now if you gave him today's technology and training, okay? I'm just saying the truth here, right? But no ums or buts is very important. Just be you. Now, what I mean by this is, has anybody in here ever noticed, right, when you talk to a stranger or a new person, you kind of sound nervous. You're like, right? It's because you don't have a belief when you're talking. Like, it's like you're like nervous. You're overthinking things, right? You have no complete belief in what you're saying sometimes. You're not nervous when you talk to your friends and family because you have a belief. You're not nervous, okay? And so how do I boost confidence instantly? Well, number one, obviously, we can get a ton of experience. We can go out here and talk to 5,000 motivated sellers. Going to be fine. The truth is, when it comes to cold calling, the majority of your growth when it comes to talking to sellers and sounding really good over the phone is going to be in your first 10 hours. That is it. The first 10 hours you spend cold calling will probably be about 80 or 90% of your growth. So if you want to get really, really good talking to motivated sellers, spend just the first 10 hours you grow the most. It's like playing a video game. You suck the first 10 minutes you play a video game. If you play it for 10 hours, you get really good at it. Now, again, there's a whole curve where basically it kind of, the point of diminishing returns when it comes to talking to a motivated seller. But like the difference between being 90% efficient versus 98 is like the world of difference. Even 95 to 97, right? Kind of crazy, right? But I think a lot of wholesalers, okay, they don't really even understand that when it comes to talking to, someone and feeling good and knowing what you can do, right? It's all about going out here and believing in what you say. So how do you build that, again, experience? I would say 10 hours cold calling is going to make you a million times better talking to sellers. And then another big thing is you should know these 3 confidence boosting questions. This is very important here, but there are 3 questions that if you can answer right now to yourself, you are going to not be nervous talking to most sellers. You are going to sound like an absolute animal over the phones, and you're not going to be a nervous wreck. You see, if you're somebody who's watching this, you don't have to raise your hand because I know I don't want to call anybody out. If you're watching this and you feel like you are a nervous wreck when it comes to talking to sellers, right? What do I do? What do I do? If you're a nervous wreck when it comes to talking to sellers, it's probably because you can't answer these 3 questions about yourself. You are fearful someone's going to ask these questions. It's like if you work at a Mexican restaurant and somebody asks, what's in the guacamole? I had no idea you're going to ask me that. I work at a Mexican restaurant. How good are the tacos? It's like working at the Mexican restaurant. Someone asks, how's the guacamole? And you freak out because of it. It's going to happen. So these 3 questions, you need to know the answer to them. And if you actually subconsciously know the answer to these questions, you sound so much better talking. You double your success rate. So what in the world are these 3 confidence boosting questions you need to know the answer to instantly, and you're going to sound way better on the phone? Let's break it down. Question number 1, stupid simple. But most people, they don't know the answer. They're calling and somebody asks it and they absolute malfunction. I don't know. You freak out. If you know these answers, you're going to sound like a G. Okay, number 1, question 1. These are so simple, but if you can't automatically know what they are, subconsciously, you're screwed. You're done. Okay, let's talk about it. Number 1, who are you? This is a big one. Who are you? So if you're on the phone and somebody asks who you are, and then you automatically want to go, Zach Ginn, LLC, a home solutions company, you're done. If you can answer on the phone who you are, my name is Zach Ginn, that's who I am. Next question, what do you want? I'm looking to buy your property for cash. I'm interested in buying houses. It's a simple script. So again, from the top, who are you? My name's Zach. I'm looking to buy properties. What do you want? I'm looking to buy properties for cash. Now, the last one, this is where people really get tricked up. Okay? This is where people freak out. Why do you want to buy my house for cash? Oh, Lord, when I get this question, I'm like, oh, geez, dude, these people drive me crazy. Okay. Why I'd want to buy your property for cash is an interesting one, right? So why? I'm looking to buy your property for cash, either to buy it with my partner to rent it out or to fix it up and put it back on the market, or maybe we'll just keep it. That's why I'm looking to buy your property for cash. No, yeah. So you're looking to buy my house to make a profit. Makes sense to me. You I do this for free. It's simple. So again, who you are, my name's Zach. What do you want? I want to buy your property for cash. Why? Probably with my partner to rent it out, put it back on the market, fix and flip it. I mean, really depends on the property. Tell me more about your property. Easy, right? Now, number 2, the script. Okay, now we have confidence down pat. Now, what in the world is our script? What is our motivated seller script to become an absolute beast? Simple. Scripts, it's just qualifying. So a lot of people watching, they click the video because they want to know my special script. It's not really a script. It's just qualifying. It's just qualifying. I'm just really good at qualifying sellers. You see, it's not a script. It's more of a qualification process. And so essentially, we are flipping the script here. We're not really going down line by line, item by line item for closing somebody. It's just seeing if they even fit. I believe in myself, and I'm going to see if you fit for me, Mr. Seller. That is my closing script. That's why it's the #1 used script in the entire country. Okay? I have produced more people getting their first deal, their 100th deal, their 1,000,000th deal. I produced more millionaires in the wholesaling space than anybody else on the face of this earth in the wholesaling real estate space. Why? Because I know what I'm talking about. First, I make a lot of money wholesaling, but also really good at teaching people. I also have the largest community, but everyone knows that. So again, why does this work so well? The truth is, most wholesalers try to go out here and convince their sellers to go with them. And what you're doing is you're trying to see if they are a good fit for you. You got to remember, it is way different wholesaling real estate 2026 than it was in 2023, 2024, even 2022, where you had to beg sellers hand in hand, please sell to me. So no, it's simple. So what I like to do is I like to just qualify someone and say, hey, we're looking to buy some properties in the area, but we just got to see if you're right fit or not. Yeah, what question you got? Then I go through my qualifying process. Simple, MCTP. I really should get it tatted on my knuckles. MCTP. But yeah, what's MCTP stand for? MCTP stands for motivation, condition, time frame, and price. So let's start at the top, motivation. The first question when somebody says that they are looking to sell their property is motivation. Hey, Mr. Seller, why are you looking to sell your property? Simple. Then from there, you go to C, condition. Hey, Mr. Seller, can you tell me more about the property? Can you tell me if there's any repairs going to be done on the house? What's going on with the roof, AC, what's the year of the house, stuff like that. Have you renovated it all? And then you got T, time frame. Hey, Mr. Seller, when are you looking to sell the property? C, T, time frame. And then P, price. Hey, Mr. Seller, what's a ballpark range you're looking to sell the property for? Simple as that. M, C, T, P. Motivation, condition, time frame, and price. Now, I also like to go out here and sprinkle some rapport in between. So again, people get a little weirded out by, the word rapport. Now, I think rapport is kind of honestly like a dumb word. So a lot of people try to go out here and sound like, oh my gosh, you're so good at building rapport and all that. And rapport is again a stupid word because I just think there's a lot going on, with it. I personally, I just think it's a fancy word for connection. Going out here and building a connection with somebody. That's where I see the word rapport. It's just building a connection with someone so they actually know who you are. They like you. They want to be more like you, stuff like that. So what I like to do is I like to just go out here and build a connection with somebody. So how do you build a connection? How do you get really good at building rapport? Well, let me just drop a fact on you. People like them. Shocking statement. But people like people who are like them. So if you like to play basketball and you meet a guy and he likes to play basketball too, most likely than not, you're going to like him more because of that fact. And if that person's a lot like you, you're going to like them a lot. That's just how human beings are with friendships, talking to somebody, right? Common interests. It's really simple. And sometimes opposites attract, but usually it's not really the case. So if you love sports and somebody hates sports, and for example, if you're a Republican, the person's a Democrat, right? You love outdoors, they hate outdoors, right? If every one of your interests are misaligned and then your values, like it's going to be completely screwed up. Just being real. And a lot of people like to poke holes like, oh, my wife's nothing like me. I'm like, well, you guys all have the same values. Yeah, that's true. Shocker, right? Like, I had a guy that says, no, well, my wife doesn't like the sports and I like sports. So you're wrong, Zach. Dude, I could talk to ladies about knitting all day over the phone and close them. That's all I do. And here's the thing about people like people who are like them. That's also a true statement, but there's also a very important fact. People also like people who are interested in them. This is very important. So for example, I'm probably getting in trouble for saying this, but like, I don't care for golf. Okay. I've never played golf outside of mini putt-putt, and I just don't golf. Two main reasons. Number one, I feel like I know a lot of golf guys. I personally feel like if I start golfing, I'd get addicted to it. And then I'm going to buy a $40 million property in Tiger Woods' golf community in Jupiter, and then I'm going to be screwed, right? Or buy a house in like Trump National or something in Doral for $30 million, and then be like a golf junkie, right? I personally don't like golfing because I feel like I'm going to get addicted to it. But also number two, I usually don't have the time. I like wholesaling houses. I like businesses, right? I like to fish. But the thing about it is, if I meet a seller who likes golfing, this has happened a lot, I talk their ear off about golf. Hey, tell me, where do you like to play golf at? I'm not really a big golfer, but I'm kind of interested. Tell me, how much are clubs? What clubs do you use? Man, that grass is always perfect. I always want to get golf grass in my yard. Like, do you see how it's just simple to talk about? Right? So simple. The Masters are coming up. Do you watch it? Like, see, if you're interested in what they like, it's simple. Okay. So simple. I see a lot of wholesalers. They go out here. There we go. There we go. Hold on. We gotta get rid of a hater. Oh man. How do I do this? Hold on. Got a live hater we gotta get rid of real quick. Oh boy. There we go. Way easier. There we go. Simple. There we go. But all I could say is just build rapport with people. It's simple. So again, if the seller likes golf, mention that you love golf or something that they do about golf that you like. 95% of men can relate to other men. It's a really simple fact. It's really simple. Okay. A lot of people really don't understand that. Okay. If you can relate to somebody, it's just way easier for them to like you. Just saying the truth. There you go. All right. Done. Perfect. Simple. So again, what's another way to close sellers? Again, I would say another big thing is mirroring. So a lot of people don't really understand that too. If you have a seller that's like really like quiet, like, hey, my name's Zach. I'm interested in some house. When you talk to them, you need to go out here and talk to them about how you go out here and you are looking to buy their property for cash. If someone's soft-spoken, you're going to be soft-spoken. It's really easy. If someone's really hyper and really excited, you need to be really hyper, really excited. Now, you don't need to be someone that's outside of like your personality, but mirroring is one of the other best ways to go out here and sound like you actually know what you're talking about and someone likes you because you are like them again. Okay. Now, after you qualify somebody, you need to go out here and really start getting the numbers ready, right? After you start qualifying with speaking with them, you're then going to start qualifying them on the number side. So again, if they say they want to sell, we have the MCTP, then we need to see if the number is going to start working. And this is where I love my live seller calls and my live calls to people in deals because wholesaling real estate is so simple. It's so simple. Guys, here's how wholesaling real estate works. Anything under MAO is good. Those are how numbers work in wholesaling. Let me just be real with everybody watching this. This is how the numbers work in the wholesaling real estate space. Okay. If your MAO is 300,000 and the seller wants to sell for 280, 20 grand right there. It's easy. And if somebody wants to sell their house for 330, well, we're going to have to offer them 270 and try to get it locked up for lower. I really don't understand how people overcomplicate the numbers. If you can get good at finding the MAO, which has honestly been easier than ever before, how are you stressing out about wholesaling? So again, if you ever want to watch any of my videos about how to get really good, okay, at numbers and all this stuff, right? Just figure out this one word. Anything under the MAO equals good. Simple. Simple. Easy. Anything under the MAO works. So figure out the MAO, and then you just got to stay below that. That's the danger zone. Anything above that, we are not playing that game. Anything above the MAO is not a good deal. Now we got the qualifying. Now we got the confidence. Now we're going to go out here and be a beast at the closing. How do we start the closing? Well, does anybody in here know how much we are going to offer a seller? Does anybody know my specific rules since we're live? How much I go out here and offer a motivated seller? Is it like a crazy equation? Is it any of this stuff? What is it? Do I offer 60% of the MAO value? Do I offer 70? Do I offer 30 grand below? How in the world do I go out here and make an offer to motivated sellers? What do I do? What's my equation? What's my perfect equation here? Okay. What is it? I'm kind of curious. Where is my equation? 65%. They say on TikTok, 70%. What is it going to be? What could it be? What is it? To be honest, one rule I have for making offers, just to offer something below the MAO. Now, preferably, I would want you to offer something so embarrassingly low, you feel really nervous. I would prefer if you're stupid nervous making offers to sellers. That's just my preference. I would love it if you go out here and you get super nervous talking to a seller. talking to a motivated seller freaks you out because of how low the offer is, that's good. You're uncomfortable. But to be honest, if it's under the MAO, you're going to be making money. Okay, you're going to be making money. Now, the general rule of thumb is offers 60 to 70% of the MAO, your first offer. That's your LAO. But let's just not sugarcoat it. If it's under your MAO, you'll be making money. Simple as that. Just do that. Don't overcomplicate it. Now, what's my offer? What's my closing pitch? What do I usually say to get a deal locked up and done? What's my offer? I prefer doing what I call the reverse price anchor. I like the reverse price anchor. That's what I prefer. That's how I like to go on my offers. That's just how Zach does it. You don't need to be me. There is the price anchor, the reverse price anchor, that get their price first, or the straight up lowball. Those are your offers and those are your strategies. But let's kind of break down what they are. So first, let's talk about the original, which is called the price anchor. Everybody and their mom talks about the price anchor. It's pretty simple. Kind of throw that anchor out there on the price and see what their reaction is. That's not how I do it. Rick used to do a little. I learned it from him. I kind of put my own play on it. But what a price anchor is when you're talking to the seller, let's say MAO is 300 on the sucker, and you say, hey, in the ideal world, I would want to buy this house for $240,000. And the seller's supposed to say, bro, get out of my house. How dare you? No, it's way too low. And then you say, hey, that's just where I ideally would want to buy because I'm an investor in it. And then 20% of the time, they're like, no, get out of my house. I know what you're doing. This is like manipulation, bro. That's honestly what the seller says 10, 20% of the time that I found. So I used to do that. And 10, 20% of the time, I always lost the deal. So I didn't like that because the sellers aren't dumb. You see, a lot of people think sellers are absolute idiots out there, which I don't think they are. They're regular human beings. A lot of people pretend like that just doing that doesn't work. And so what it basically is you're throwing the anchor out there, seeing where they're at. I would prefer if I had somebody who throws the anchor for me and I get all the benefit. That's why I do a reverse price anchor method, which basically is, hey, I was talking to my partner, Rick, and he said he was looking to buy this property for around $240,000. Now, am I lying? Am I pretending to be somebody else? No, I'm not. The reason is because I used to do this where I would go on the property. I had just call my dad. Hey, where do you think you want to buy this property at if we're going to lock it up? Okay, 240. Okay, cool. So I just say, my dad told me he was going to buy for like 240. Hey, and they say, that's way too low. Get out of my house. Hey, Rick, he's crazy. Let's use Shikamaru as Rick. Hey, this Rick guy, he's crazy. He always wants to buy for the lowest. That's why I'm here. I'm the decision maker. I hate Rick. Yeah, hate that guy. But basically, that always worked for me. And then that 10, 20% of the time, I didn't get kicked out of the house, and that was good. Now, you can also try to get their price first. That works too. But honestly, hit or miss. So what price are you looking to sell the property for? 280. Well, I mean, could you do 230? Then negotiate from there, get the price first. My least favorite method of closing is what I call the straight low ball. Hey, Mr. Seller, I'll buy your house for 240. Usually doesn't go that well, right? So again, you need to lowball. That is just the absolute truth. Okay. You need to go out here and lowball. You need to make money. Wholesaling real estate is not a charity. I want you to understand this. Wholesaling real estate is not a charity. I just want you to understand. Wholesaling real estate is not a charity. You do not need to offer them the most on the house. That's not how businesses work. I want you to understand. A lot of people feel like they should only make about $1,000 on a real estate deal. There's so much risk and stress with a real estate deal. You need to make a lot more money. I just want you to understand that in the perfume business, the perfume business, they'll sell a thing of perfume for like $100 and it costs $2 or maybe even $1 to make the perfume. And they charge like $30,000. Sorry, 30,000% above. You know why? Because Perfume is really cheap to make, but to get someone to buy it, it takes a lot of stress, a lot of marketing, a lot of convincing. And I would say wholesaling real estate is very close to the perfume business because it's not expensive at all to go out here and get a deal, but the amount of time, marketing, and effort it takes, you need to be rewarded for that. That's why perfume, the margins are insane. Okay. You know, when you go to your favorite sandwich shops, if you go to a sub place, right, and you get like let's just do a burger joint. You go to a burger joint and you pay $10 for a burger. That burger probably costs $2.50 to produce. And it might be like, well, they should charge me $3. No, there's rent, there's employees. Getting you in the door is hard. They charge what they can charge, right? Negotiate the best deal, and boom, you are now going out here and you are a born closer for success. Easy as that. Boom, born closer. You start doing deals. So that, guys and gals, is my new motivated seller script that works so good, it feels like you're cheating. So what I want to do, I want to answer some questions you guys have about wholesaling houses and see what I can do to help you become the best wholesaler possible for success in this business. And so let's break it all down. Let's share it. Let's get into this. Let's get going. Jonathan says, I use Crazy Rick often. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I love it. I love it. Bought X-Leads a couple days ago. It says my sub account is paused. What does that mean? Just go to support@xleads.com and they will help you right there. They'll reach out. So Samuel, go to support@xleads.com if you have X-Leads question. UUC says, I had an older lady that legit wanted $150 for a house with $69,000 ARV retail. She was so upset that it wasn't worth the imaginary number she came up with. You got to remember that people have sticker shock with prices. So what I mean by this is I'm going to get in trouble for saying this, but I really don't care. This is my YouTube channel. I could say whatever I want. You try to cancel me. Old people tend to have the worst sticker shock on things, and they are like absolutely out of reality when it comes to stickers. So for example, older people love telling me when I was a boy, gas was 15 cents a gallon. And they love talking about that. Like, I can't believe it's $3 a gallon. It's a ripoff. And I say, let me buy your house. And they say, sure, I want $300,000 for my house. And then I say, how much did you buy it for? I bought my house for $2 and a nickel. And I want to sell it for not a penny less than $300,000. Well, isn't that a ripoff? No! That's old people for you. They'll complain about the gas prices, but they say, my house is worth $1 million. Things are expensive now. Oh, man. Who in the world can buy $1 million property on a teacher's salary? By 1932, you could do it, right? So no joke, my great-grandmother, rest her soul, she bought a really nice house on she was a single mom, my great-grandmother, and she was able to buy a property all cash as a teacher in the 1970s. Who in the world as a teacher can buy a property just for cash? Isn't that crazy? I drive by her house 3 or 4 times a year. It's always fascinating to me. But like, inflation's insane. But what I'm trying to tell you is this person, because they think their house is worth $1 million. Here's the cool part about it, though. I don't really know the prices of some things. If you told me, again, how much is a pound of wood, I can't roughly tell you. I can look it up and see, but like, the free market is, I believe in capitalism. I believe in the free market. I believe in these things. And again, There is some government overreach that is needed for a couple things. I'm not really the biggest fan of government overreach on a lot of things, but the free market's the free market, guys. So if somebody's willing to pay $500,000 for this house, generally that's what the house is worth. If nobody wants to pay 500, they all want to pay 400, generally it's worth 400. This is economics 101. If there's no more houses for sale and demand shoots for the area, then the house is worth more than $500,000. If there's 1 million properties that get built and there's too much supply, the house is worth supply and demand, guys. So this seller has to put their property in the market, see what the market says, not you. Simple as that. Wholesaling real estate, not a charity. We're here to make real big boy money here. Let's see. All right, let's see here. Mirror and match. Bye, Felicia. I saw Rick caught a big fish. Yeah, he literally caught a massive amberjack. I'll show everybody on YouTube here today. I was posting this picture. I posted this picture of Rick on my Instagram. I thought it was pretty funny. If you guys are watching on TikTok or Instagram, make sure you subscribe to me on YouTube. Zach Ginn on YouTube. Let me show everybody. Where was this? Let's see. Rick's so funny. I just went to the dock to say hi to him. So he was cleaning his boat yesterday. He's like, look what I caught. And I'm like, oh, wow, that's a nice amberjack. If you're into fishing, you understand amberjacks. You know, most people are not into fishing. They're not Florida man like me. Amberjacks are absolutely one of the worst fish to reel in. These are one of the strongest, most annoying fish to reel in because they just, once you get them hooked, they run straight to the bottom. And they are all pure muscles. Like, there's a story about amberjacks. It's very famous. But Michael Jordan does a lot of fishing. He actually takes his boat outside my office. He does a lot of sail fishing. And right where I live is right where Michael Jordan fishes all the time. He golfs and fishes. That's all the guy does. Shout out to Michael Jordan. If you ever live in Florida and you want to know if Michael Jordan, if that's his boat or not, his boat is wrapped just like an Air Jordan. It's like a sneaker. His whole boat is like an Air Jordan sneaker. I think it's probably a $50 million yacht. It's insane. But like he'll take it. And the story was he hooked an amberjack. And it was so much work for Michael Jordan to catch this fish that he said, I am never going to catch an amberjack ever again. If you ever hook an amberjack, I will fire you. That is how rough those things are. They are a beast. They're really good smoke though. So shout out to Rick. I'll show everyone on TikTok. This was Rick's haul last night. He got me some dinner. But yeah, we're gonna be reeling in the fish. It's pretty sick. That was a nice little catch. Pain in the butt to catch. He also had a hammerhead. He should post his. He sent me a video of, oh, look at this hammerhead shark just circling my boat. It was just so funny. Yeah, shout out to Rick. He's the man. What a man's man, right? Let's see here. Do you prefer double closings when starting out using transactional funding? If you're gonna make over 50 grand, I'd probably say yes. Derek says, what's up, Zach? Just got an M2M about to take over the Houston market, bro. We're about to release a brand new wholesaling method that nobody's able to do the way we're doing it. And it's good. We're going to teach it for M2M for 3 months, and then we're going to publicly give it out to the people. I mean, not publicly, but like it's going to be crazy. So we're going to give everyone M2M a 3-month head start to make a ton of money. And you're probably going to be only people in Houston doing it. So it's going to be really good. You have a step-by-step on how to government list leads and skip trace it and use the dial inside. I was wondering if you have a step-by-step on how to do it. Yeah, it's all inside of freewholesaling.com. If you want to learn how to wholesale real estate completely for free, I do have a free real estate wholesaling course and community. It's called freewholesaling.com. The word free, the word wholesaling.com. Go there. And if you're watching this on TikTok, if you're watching this on Instagram, got a lot of y'all in here. If you are on Instagram or TikTok, do me a favor. Make sure you just go right now to Zach Ginn on YouTube, ZACHGINN. Go to Zach Ginn on YouTube and look me up there and subscribe to my YouTube channel. You will not miss a live stream, and it's way better. There's more people on YouTube than any other social media platform I have. So I got a lot of people on Instagram, but yeah, go there. Zach, I know you don't talk about laws that much, but Oklahoma law is crazy right now. Title companies are even afraid to double close my deals. Working with Roger and Antonio right now. Yeah, use Roger's title company. Use Roger's title company. It's the best way I could say it. And you can definitely find plenty of ones that know the law, or even deal with a real estate attorney. Like, just talk to a real estate attorney that understands the law, and then usually there's plenty of real estate attorneys that actually are investor friendly, that understand the law, that will close with you. And they have a title company usually they work with or they own. I'm planning to start out as an acquisition manager, making 15% commissions to learn the ropes. Is that a good? No, I do not recommend that. A lot of people say, become an acquisitions manager and go do this. Dude, you can make $50,000 in the next 30 days on one real estate wholesaling deal. 50 grand, one deal. Okay. Last week, someone sent me a deal. We're going to make $75,000. And it was 2 phone calls of my team, calling the seller, getting the deal locked up, and getting it all ready. Wholesaling real estate is the best. Okay. We got another deal we're flipping right now. It'll be probably 60 grand. We just get the deal, lock it up, find the buyer, in and out. Simple. It's really easy. So yeah, I mean, why are you going to work for somebody else when you can work yourself? Do you like wholesaling or fishing more? Definitely wholesaling. Definitely wholesaling. Black tip shark. I don't eat shark. I'm not going to risk my life on that one. I saw a guy with a lemon shark take his whole finger off. Not fun. Let's see here. I use crazy Rick often. Oh my gosh. Should I find a title company before I get my first deal? Oh yeah. I would highly recommend you get a title company before you go out here and close your first deal. Some good questions tonight. Bro, I can preach, cast out demons, lay hands on the sick. Oh, with the power. Oh. But I got some ums cold calling. Bro, I don't know why you got any ums cold calling. Just talk. So the questions we got here. What CRM is best for SMS blasting? xleads.com. By far the best CRM without even a question. It's the best wholesaling software in general. Yeah. Why does Roy the closer hate X leads? Because I don't have an affiliate for him and he doesn't get paid to mention X leads, so he won't say anything nice about it probably. Roy's a great dude though. But I mean, you just got to understand, Roy's not going to talk good about my software unless he gets paid from it. So really, there's no wholesaling influencer that talks good. Let me just be straight with you. There's no real estate wholesaling influencer that talks good about software unless they get paid from it that has any type of motion. Roy's a good guy, though. I like Roy a lot. I feel like I haven't talked to Roy in like 2-3 months, though. He needs to talk to me. Evan's pretty good at talking to sellers, too. Reporting from Dalaska. Dude, it is. What's the temperature outside right now? Dude, I was sweating today. 74 degrees right now. And it was like 80. It was like 84 degrees today. I was sweating. Bro, I'm in shorts right now, man. I'm in shorts. I don't know why we're dealing with that. Everyone makes fun of me. Oh, you're in Florida. You got hurricanes. Dude, when there's a hurricane, I just bolt out of here. Last hurricane, I went to London. I'm like, screw it. I'm going to London. I'm just going to take a little flight, fly over the hurricane, go somewhere else, come back. Yeah, Chicago. Dude, it was 40 degrees when I went to Chicago. 40 degrees when I went to Chicago. It was ridiculous. Also, guys, I just did I just recorded a video on a $30,000 assignment deal that we did in Chicago. I flew to Chicago just to do this deal. It was really cool. My property's on an actual real TV show. I'm recording this whole video. I'm dropping. It's gonna be really exciting. Cool little $30,000 deal. Let's see here. Let's do some TikTok questions. Got some TikTok. Where can I find my scripts? Scripts are on the free wholesaling course. Just go to YouTube. Go to Zach Ginn on YouTube. Also, my big YouTube channel is Flip with Rick. Go to Flip with Rick on YouTube. 220,000 subscribers on the two of them. So that's where I'd go. I need a list to call. Go to freewholesaling.com. We have all the government lists for you to call there. Chicago's going to be, can I say the city? Ukrainetown. I did a deal in Ukrainetown to a builder. It was a really good deal. Where's Ukrainetown? I think it's the western part. Ukrainetown is in Westtown. Ukrainian Village, my bad. Yeah, it's all those brick row houses. Yeah, we did really good there. Instagram, what questions you guys got? Let's see the IG questions. Is there any benefit to getting a real estate license? Only bad stuff when it comes to cold calling. Do not get your real estate license. What do you do with your money? I invest it and grow it. I am not a guy that has too many needs in my life. As long as I can eat, sleep, I'm good to go. I just invest all my money really. And I try to spend 20% of my income and the rest gets invested. But honestly, I probably just spend like 6% of it. I can't really, there's not many like things I can go crazy on. I can go crazy on boats. That's pretty much it. Lord. Insights on selling more upscale. Anything above $500,000 on the investing side gets really hard because the fixed cost of selling your real estate is always going to be the same. All right, let's hear the questions. Got some good Instagram questions today, though. I already got my first assignable purchase agreement. Who should I call? Call cash buyers. Go to xleads.com, find a cash buyer on there, or go to Zillow, go to the For Rents, call some people that are listing their property for rent and be good to go. Why is wholesaling better than being a real estate agent? That is the easiest question of all time. So the richest, let's actually look it up. Who is the richest realtor in Miami? Richest realtor in Miami. Miami is a massive market, right? The richest realtor in Miami is going to be, the richest realtor in Miami is going to be Diane Golden Taylor. She has sold $362 million of real estate, which is crazy. Does anybody know how much of commission she gets? That is $10 million. That is the top realtor in all of Miami, makes about $10 million. Now, that's if she made 3%. She's probably netting half of that after commissions, marketing, all that stuff, about probably 5 to 6 mil. There's a lot more. I know wholesalers in Miami making 6 to 7 million. So the top wholesaler in Miami makes more than the top realtor. Now, if you look at the top 10% of wholesalers, they probably make about $500,000 to $1 million a year. The top 10% of realtors make $100K a year. And that's with a big team. 10 million is probably closer to 4 to 3. Maybe she's doing better. Just being honest. The top realtor in all of Miami is probably netting 4 to 5 mil, which sounds amazing. But let's look at the math too. If you look at the top realtor in, let's do this. This is really bad to say. But let's look at the top 50 realtor in Miami is making 17 mil. That's pretty normal, 17 million. So top 50 realtor in all of Miami makes roughly, this is top 50, all of the Miami area, all of South Florida, makes about 510,000. Let's just cut 30% off of marketing. And they usually, top realtors are at 2.5% usually. $350,000 is a top 50 realtor. That is top 1% of what, let's do the math here. How many realtors in Miami-Dade County? This is an easy one. There are approximately 60,000 realtors in Miami-Dade County. So to be 50 out of 60,000, you are the top 100. You're the top 10th of 1% of realtors in Miami. You make $400K a year. Just think about that for a second. You are the top 1% of the 1%. You make $400K. The top 1% of the 1% in Miami and wholesaling, they're all clearing 2, 3, 4, 5 mil. So I'm just being that. So why do I teach about wholesaling? Because here's the truth. There is no real estate agent that owns a sports team. There is zero. There is absolute zero people that are realtors that own a sports team. There are no real estate agents, 0% real estate agents that are billionaires, except for Keller Williams, but he owns a brokerage. That's a little different. There are no billionaires that do it by being a real estate agent. Do you know how many billionaires there are from real estate investing? One's the president of the United States. One owns the Miami Dolphins, Stephen Ross. He has a 60. What's Stephen Ross's net worth? Stephen Ross, and he's a low guy. He's like a low level billionaire. He has a $10 billion net worth. 10 billionaires. There's not even one billionaire that is a real estate agent. He's 10 billionaires in one. He's worth 10 billion. 17 according to Forbes. So you got to remember, the top real estate agents are millionaires. The top real estate investors are billionaires. That's the difference between the top end of investors versus real estate agents. Real estate agents don't own real estate. Real estate investors own real estate. That's the difference between being a billionaire in real estate and being a millionaire. Am I a billionaire? No, but I'm getting there. And I'm doing that by owning real estate, not by selling real estate. That is my rant on being a real estate agent versus a wholesaler. Saying the truth. Does Actually have the ability to drop a pre-recorded voicemail? Yes, they do. Thanks, bro. The big release, I'll be ready doing the onboarding call tomorrow. What's the prep work you need? Get on the onboarding call. Go through the classroom. That's all you need, man. How much equity are you looking for to wholesale house? I like at least 30 to 40% equity on the deals. You get good at wholesaling, which is selling discounted properties. You start flipping the houses, getting the investing part, and then you just absolutely crush it. Oh yeah, I've interviewed wholesalers in Miami making 5 to 6 million. I can confirm this, and my reputation's immaculate when it comes to this stuff. When I interview wholesalers, I mean, I have guys that say they're making $1 million a month, and I go, pfft, and they show me the HUDs. I call the title company. I'm like, geez, whoa, there's legit ones. And I'm friends with some of these wholesalers that they're not on social media, but they got motion. And some of them don't want to be YouTubers. What happened to Alex Hormozi interview? I'm not allowed to say when I'm flying out to go meet him, but it is going to be very soon. It's going to be very soon. I'm not allowed to say, but yes, I'm not interviewing him, but I'm hanging out with him for an entire day. I have to fly out and see him, though. So, yes, I'm flying out, seeing Alex Hormozi. I'll post my picture, and I get to ask him a couple questions. It's going to be kind of cool to hang out with him for when the school games. It's going to be exciting. I'm not allowed to say the date, though. All right. How do I keep my employees from accessing the leads tab? Every IP they have to address, so they're not going to go in here and steal it. What's good virtual wholesaling market to expand to? Tulsa, Oklahoma is my #1 recommendation right now. Very underrated wholesaling market. Let's saturate Tulsa, Oklahoma. I have $25,000 to invest. I want to eventually scale my business to 6 figures a month. That's easy. Or PPC tech, Google. Get a call center, cold call texting. You don't want to blow 20 grand on marketing in a month, which you can do PPC. Spend 1,000 to 2,000, get really good, scale up the systems from there. If you are going to invest, I would do direct mail, but I would be doing call center first and foremost. So guys, if you want to learn how to wholesale real estate absolutely for free, I have a free real estate wholesaling community. I have a free real estate wholesaling course. It's called freewholesaling.com. The word free, the word wholesaling.com. So if you're on TikTok right now, go to freewholesaling.com, the word free, the word wholesaling.com. I'll teach you how to wholesale real estate completely for free. If you got any value from this video, do me a favor. Make sure you smash that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you soon. This is Zach Ginn signing out. Have a blessed one.